Hello, 12T. This is just a video for 12T. This video is the first time I'm going to be reading to you from our new chapter book, which is The Muddle-Headed Wombat. So mums and dads in our classroom, we read a chapter book all together. We try and read a little bit every day. If we're really busy, sometimes we don't get to it. But it's usually at 10 o'clock when we have our fruit break. The kids will go and get their fruit and come and sit back down, and we'll just read a few pages from our chapter book. And then we usually have a bit of a discussion at the end of the reading. So I thought we would do that again while we're learning remotely. And I'll aim to have a little video reading every day. So let's have a look at our book. It's called The Muddle-Headed Wombat. It was written by Ruth Park, and the pictures in this one are by Noella Young. And on the front, let's have a look. We've got some clues as to who might be in the book. There's the wombat, but he's got a little creature on top of his hat, and I wonder, boys and girls, if you know what kind of creature that might be. Have a think. There's also a cat, and it looks like they've done a bit of fishing. They're out to sea in this rubber ring. And straight away I'm wondering, well, how did they get there? Let's start reading and see if we can find out. Now, there's not too many pictures in this book, but if there is, I'll turn it around and show you. So we've got a picture here. He looks pretty happy, that muddle-headed wombat. Looks like he's talking to the mouse. There's another picture here, but he doesn't look so happy in this one, does he? He looks a bit sad. I wonder if you might be able to come up with a word for the emotion that wombat might be feeling in this picture here and share that with your grown-up. So this is chapter 1, and it's called Let's Meet Wombat. There was once a muddle-headed wombat sitting in the grass and feeling very lonely. A wombat is a square animal with thick hair like a doormat, stumpy legs and no tail to speak of. He has brown eyes and a comfortable, leathery, flat nose, like a koala. This wombat was lonely because he had no sisters or brothers or aunties or uncles, and besides, he had spent all his pocket money. I wish I had a friend, he thought. A nice, comfy little friend who would fit in my cardigan pocket. A wombat could have lots of adventures with a friend like that. We've got some more pictures on this page. We've got the muddle-headed wombat. Looks like he's calling out to someone. And then we've got on this page, looks like he's talking to a scarecrow. And I'm wondering if perhaps because he's feeling lonely, maybe he's trying to make friends with the scarecrow. That's my prediction. We'll see if it's true. Suddenly, in the paddock nearby, he saw a wooden man waving his wooden arms and speaking a song of his own. Squeak, creak, squeak, squawk. He was a scarecrow. He wore a raggedy old coat and a big straw hat and yellow gloves on his wooden hands. Wombat was pleased to see him. Perhaps I could make friends with him. Yoo-hoo, Mr. Scarecrow. Here comes your little wombat. Every time the wind puffed over the gullies, the wooden man swung his arms to left and right. Wombat thought the scarecrow was waving to him. He stood up on his hind legs, that means his back legs, and pulled at the scarecrow's coat. Here I am. Are you pleased I'm here? Thump! Down came the scarecrow's wooden hand on Wombat's head. Wombat was very cross. He didn't understand it was the wind's fault. "Oh, that's a horrible thing to do to a new friend," he growled. "You're a hideous old pollywobble. I'm going to push you over. That's what I'm going to do." So Wombat is upset that the Scarecrow's hand has thumped down on his head. Now, you and I know that the Scarecrow didn't mean to do that. The wind just blew him, but Wombat thinks he's done it deliberately and he's really upset. And he put his forehead against the post which held the Scarecrow in its place, and he pushed and pushed until there was a creak and a crack, and down went the wooden man all in a heap. Away bowled his straw hat, with Wombat trundling after it. It was such a friendly-looking hat with a braggy brim and a great many windows in the crown that Wombat put it on. Now on this page, there's a little mouse, and the mouse is crying. And then down the bottom on the other side, the little mouse I can see is wearing some little glasses. And he looks a bit curious or hopeful. I think we'll read 2 more pages today. "Anyway, you and I can be friends, you dear old hat," he said. All at once, Wombat heard a queer little noise. It was like a fairy sobbing. Wombat was excited. "Oh, did you hear that, you dear old hat? That's a very little animal being sad and miserable." He hurried over to the edge of the road and peered in amongst the tall grass stalks. There he saw the tiniest, furriest animal rolled into a ball and crying to itself. A tear ran down his nose and plopped on the stranger's little head. At once it unrolled itself, sat up and said angrily, "And now it's raining. Oh, this is an awful day for me." Wombat liked the little animal's pink piggy nose and soft grey fur. He liked the way it carried its long tail over its arm, as though it were the train on an evening dress. He chuckled. "It isn't raining at all. It's me, crying." "Well, don't cry on me, whoever you are. I have enough troubles already." As it spoke, the little animal closed up its mouth in a tight, worried way and began pawing around in the grass. "I'm looking for my glasses," it explained. "I've dropped them somewhere and I can't find them. Oh, bother, bother, bother." Wombat was happy to help look for the glasses. He was very good at losing things, just like me, boys and girls. I'm always losing things. So he thought that perhaps he'd be good at finding them too. He scrabbled around in the grass roots, and in a moment he had found the lost spectacles. They were just as tiny as spectacles can get. In fact, the little animal used a sweet pea pod for carrying them around. Wombat was happy he had been so useful. "Oh, aren't I a smart wombat, eh? Aren't I?" he kept saying. "I'll see in a moment," said the little animal. It put on the glasses and looked at Wombat. It started at his toes and worked upwards, and by the time it had reached the top of his head, it had a crick in its neck. "Oh, you really are dreadfully big," it complained. "I can fold up a bit. You watch," said Wombat eagerly. And he pulled in his toes and humped down his neck and flattened out his ears. "I'm really terribly small, you know." The little animal took no notice. "You don't look very sensible either." "I've got lots of brains," said Wombat. "You listen to them rattle." He shook his head and it rattled beautifully. "Oh my," said the little animal. And 1-2-T, that's where we'll stop for today. So I've got my bookmark. I'll pop it in there, and I'll pop up another video tomorrow where I read the next bit of the book. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will read the next bit tomorrow. Have a great day, guys. Bye.